Kingdom Investing, Part 1. This is Brother Marcus coming to you from the laboratory. Myself and Pastor Julius had a discussion about different teachings concerning investing in monies, and I decided to move forward to release us into another dimension and another mindset of how we invest. So Part 1 will be today, which is July 5th. Happy 4th of July to those friends and family of mine. Part 2, Kingdom Investing, will follow tomorrow. So hopefully this teaching will get you to a point, better understanding, coming into the knowledge of different investing techniques. It's not going to be real complicated. It's going to be very simplistic at best. So let us move forward. Surely you have been asked or pondered about IRAs, 401ks, mutual funds, and pension plans, which were sufficient for a period of time. This specified period of time was not regulated by man. There is a higher authority that man must answer to, and when we say man, we're speaking of female and males, and his government supersedes all other governments, principalities, and powers. So right now, the concept of IRAs, 401ks, mutual funds, and pension plans, I believe they were sufficient for a specified period of time, and I believe that specified period of time is coming to a close, if it hasn't already come to a close. There's a lot of instability in the economy at this point. Those who are in the kingdom don't witness that instability. We have stability in all things that we do because of the foundation that we build on. We're in a period of reformation in all areas of life. So it's very important that you stay cognizant and sensitive to what God is doing. And that's why we wanted to release this teaching, to get you to the next place. So his government supersedes all other governments. So it really doesn't matter what's happening as far as politics and governmental affairs. If we go forth in the prayer, those circumstances will change. Now we need to be current as far as information, but we need to be informed but not absorbed by it. A person that's absorbed is a sponge. They absorb all types of information, and what it does is that it distracts a person from really identifying and focusing on things that matter. As of now, the only thing that is appreciating in value is the knowledge and wisdom that originates from the Father. So if you get wisdom and knowledge that originates from Him, then you'll be okay. But if you're receiving revelation without application, it's going to be an exploration of the ideas that you get. So when God reveals something to you, it may just be for you, or it may be for you to apply it. But in whatever case, you need to do something with what God has revealed to you. Everything now is now. It's in front of us. And He allows us to see things through revelation. He reveals things that are already there. We may not just have a spiritual eye of maturity to see, but now that we do, because it's a sense of urgency in the economy and in the world at large. So in this time, the only debt you should be incurring is in service to fulfill His will, promises, and purposes for our lives. It's very dependent that we do this, because the livelihood on this present generation and the generation to come is dependent on what we do in the now. And if He reveals things to us now, it's meant for us to do something with the knowledge and wisdom that He's revealed to us. This is the truth. A stakeholder and a shareholder, which you are, has a vested interest in the growth and development of your ministry corporately and individually. Many of us have yet to understand that wherever God has sent us to in the realm of business or education, this is our ministry. We have to come forth with that intent, with that consciousness and sense of urgency when we go into our respective marketplaces. In comparison to that, our ministries, our churches, where we go on fellowship every Sunday, Wednesday, whatever your prescribed schedule is, you are a stakeholder and a shareholder. We have to place priority on the house of God, invest in the things that we need to invest in order for us to move and grow as a body. So we have to get that understanding that We are stakeholders and shareholders. We have an invested interest or a vested interest in the growth of our ministries, individually and corporately. Be mindful that growth is not associated with how big your church is. It's associated with how much Christ's nature is being reflected in the people. And if Christ's nature is being reflected in the people, I believe that more people will come, because they'll see something on the inside of us and question and wonder what is on the inside of us. What's on the inside of us is freedom. But if we're not free in different areas, then we can't set the captives free. So we should not be captive. We should be in captivity to his plans and purposes for our lives. So this is the organization you should be freely and primarily investing your money into. Money is cash. Money and cash are two different things. We'll touch that quickly later on. We should be giving offerings. We should be tithing with no bondage attached to it in order for the organization to grow. If the organization or organism grows, then we grow as in relationship to how fiercely the organism or organization will grow. We always receive a return on investment. People have to understand this, because God equips us with spiritual truth through his word and our leaders. So a spiritual truth that is sown from your leader or somebody that's connected to you will allow you to bring a natural manifestation into the earth. But we have to be able to receive. That means we have to be pliable and teachable. These circumstances allow us to come into the realization. If you come into the realization was there, but you had yet to discern that it was present until somebody spoke into your life. It allows us to come into the realization of our inheritance, which is the abundant life in all aspects. We should be abundant in all aspects according to the assignment that God has bestowed upon us. Your destiny is locked up on the inside of your leaders as well as other individuals. It is expedient for you to stay connected to God first and stay connected to your leadership or the people that God has called you to or called you to serve. These people, the leaders, they have been set as shepherds in your life. Spiritual awareness equates to practical success, for where your treasure lies, your heart lies also. So kingdom investing, we have moved past the first dimension of investing our money per se, but now we're investing our time, talent, and treasures in one another to see a return on investment or a return on the assets, because we're all assets. We're just in process, and the finished work or the finished product will allow us to go forth and invest in other people. Investors, seed capital investor involved in first preliminary operations as market research and product development. This word means first. It's a foundation. So the seed capital investor is an individual that's involved in the foundational piece, the first original piece of the business from the ground up. From the ground up, the ground has to be pliable in order for a seed capital investor to sow any type of seed, be it financially, intellectually, spiritually. The individual, the business owner, has to be able to receive. We're all organizations, by the way, with the quick notation on that. So if that's the case, if I'm an individual organization, then I have to allow seed capital investors to sow into me. And if I allow that to happen, I can move forth, and this fruit that's come forth from my life, I'll be able to sow fruit onto other people, which allows me to move forward. Venture capital investors own equity in the organization in exchange for capital. Private equity, not publicly traded. So these venture capitals are private. This is more on the natural aspect. I just had to add this because I didn't want to leave this out, because this is a form of investing. We, the kingdom of God, should be investing our intellectual capital into businesses in exchange for limited royalties, sales, complementary services, and products. However, we must detach our identity from our children and worldly possessions. This means, and I'm going to move forward with this quickly and give you an explanation of what this means, is that if you can detach your identity from things that you think you own, which you don't, then you will be able to receive more from an individual, which will allow you to produce and allow you to grow fiercely, boldly in the things that you desire to do. But there are many times when we receive something, we think that it's our business, we think that it's our jobs, and we think that it's our money. And when somebody speaks forth and causes us to have to detach our identity from those things, we get riled up, we get an attitude. But there are people sent to you to help you in this aspect so you can move forward. In the kingdom, this is what I believe that we have to do in order to move forward. There are going to be people that have business ideas. We have to come together, and whatever we're gifted in, we have to sow what we have into that individual, be it intellectually or be it financially, in exchange for sales, other services, royalties, shares, and stocks in these individuals' companies. Because if the companies now are experiencing decline in sales, revenue, customer retention, we have to move forth in the things that God has called us to do individually in order to move our business forward. But we also have to go back in which we are sent to those particular organizations and do the same thing for them. So your integrity and your Christ-like nature, the image and likeness of Him, is important now. Character is important now. Character will allow you to speak forth into the organization which you're currently employed by. Once they recognize that you are a person of character, it will allow you authority to speak and move forth. And I guarantee that God will promote you. He promotes you by responsibility first. Once you're responsible, then He'll allow you to be responsible over more things. But you have to be responsible and faithful to the small things. Money as cash is an object of advancement. Therefore, we cannot afford to stockpile money. Money is also talent, time, treasure. Cash is the green paper, the object which people exchange value for. This is a key statement. You have to understand that money and cash is two totally different things. One day I will go into a thorough teaching concerning money, but not today. I'm just giving you this foundation as a premise. Money and cash is two totally different things. That's why we have to detach ourselves from cash as green paper, because if we stockpile it, it won't allow us to move anywhere. We have to sow according to the purposes and plans that God has ingrained on the inside of us. My money is an object of advancement to move myself individually forward and to move us corporately and as a body forward. The kingdom of God is about advancement. It's not about stagnation. We must allow someone else to discipline our children for their growth and development. This is a natural and a spiritual piece, because our children, naturally, some of us don't want people to speak into their lives to discipline them. And that is true. But our children as ideas and our businesses, for their growth and development, we have to allow these investors, these seed investors, which is people in your ministry, to help you move the business forward in the gift that God has given them. We have to move forward in bartering. We have to move forward in exchanging services and complementary products to help one another move forward, deterring the use or us leaning on cash is money. Guaranteed it. Please forward your questions or comments to cagemarcus@yahoo.com. As I said before, we'll move into Kingdom Investing Part 2, possibly tomorrow or in the next couple of days. God bless you. Once again, this is Brother Marcus. If you have any comments or questions, please forward them to cagemarcus@yahoo.com.